Welcome. This is ComCon at the Bridge Healing Center Annex. I'm here with Oso. I'm I.O. Kirkwood. And today's lesson or teaching or instruction is setting intentions. Many of you have asked about how to set intentions, and really all we can do is give you ideas on how to make it work for you, because setting intentions is a very, very personal and transformative practice. I can give you an example. My finances were a mess, so I went about and I did little parchment. I thought long and hard about what it was that I wanted to do. I had a formula. I pretty much then set like little goals after it, but the big intention itself was set doing like a little prayer meditation kind of activity. So I saw a need. I determined how I was contributing to my own failure and self-sabotage, and then I decided on what exactly it was that I needed to succeed. And that is how I built my intention. So, an intention is a vision that guides your thoughts, your words, and your deeds to achieve a desired outcome. So basically what you're doing is you're programming yourself to recognize, identify, and eliminate behaviors that sabotage your intention. And then you're putting in its place behaviors that support and nurture and help you get to the end result that you desire. So, your subconscious mind is usually your saboteur. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, your mind also, your thinking mind it can sabotage you, but your subconscious mind is more sneaky.
It's
very sneaky.
Okay, so the thing is that you have computers, you have phones, you have these electronic devices that have programs on them, and they run operating systems. So I liken the subconscious mind to an operating system. It has a language of its own, and it's usually kind of opaque to us. It's done in symbols and things that we find important. So when you're born, your subconscious mind is at factory settings, which is love and light and everything is possible. And then, of course, the system becomes corrupt with programs that are inserted like viruses from our society. And so you end up sabotaging yourself by running these programs that then interrupt the intentions that you're trying to achieve. So I have a formula that I use when I set intentions, and it is a remove and replace, or a delete and activate, or cancel and initiate. I always remove a program that is not working, and then I activate a factory setting of love and light that is already there, and let that run in its place. So let us know that you are here. Hopefully we have people that are saying hi. I don't know how this works. This is our first time, so bear with us. So one of the examples that I use, I have a couple of examples of basic intentions that I set up. And the first one is, I delete the program of division from the source. And then what I will say is, I activate the program of union with the source. And that's a very broad intention. So what will happen is, as we go along and we figure out, correspondences, symbols, psychological associations, we'll narrow that down. Another one is, I delete the program of scarcity and I activate the program of plenty for all. So you're taking away that societally mandated program of living in poverty consciousness, and you're saying, from the divine. Yeah? When you look at
I'm just saying, I think there might be 4 people watching.
Oh,
So,
excellent.
Hi.
Hi.
Glad you could join us.
Yes. We don't have the people that we would have had to help us with this because everybody has been getting sick. They're doing well now. We're very happy to hear about that. It's just that it was a little rough going there. So what we're doing is we are taking that program out and we're saying, no, we're clearing the virus, we're quarantining it, we're deleting it from the system, and we are activating the program that is naturally there, that abundance, that plenty for all that the divine has naturally programmed into us.
We're cleaning the fear up, right?
Exactly.
We're letting the fear go and replacing it with the things that you said, plus unconditional love.
Unconditional
and
love.
Connection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So basically, if you can identify what needs to be released and what you want to put in its place, that will actually, the idea here is that when you delete something, the thing that you replace it with is going to clean up the rest of the mess and fill it so that those programs cannot get back in. So if you're saying I delete scarcity, then you want to push plenty for all into there because it will clean up all of the negative patterns that you have developed like a body memory. And so you will start to say, okay, I see a scarcity issue here. I am now going to say cancel, delete, and I am going to put plenty for all. There's plenty for all. I'm going to remember the little programs and reminders that I've set up for myself to say plenty for all, remind my subconscious mind. So once you have identified that and you've stated the release and then you've stated the embrace, what I want to bring in, you can stop there. And you can just keep going with that particular one. Every time you notice that, say, a scarcity issue is coming up, you can identify it, you recognize it, and you say, okay, I see where this is going. And then you put that positive program into place and you say, universe, this program is now running in its place. And you keep reminding yourself of that. And it's like an affirmation.
It's so important right now, too. It's just the whole thing that's going on externally with the fear and the virus. And it's so important to replace the negative thoughts that you're telling yourself mm-hmm. and reprogramming with positive thoughts of abundance, of love, of connection, of nature, of what is this virus really telling us now? What it's really a gift. It's a gift that's allowing us to go deeper inward.
Yes, it is. And that's why it's so important that we talk about setting intentions right now, because we are on a cusp of a great change.
Yes.
And the idea here is for you to be proactive about taking control of what you can control, which is yourself and your ascension and your well-being. So,
ascension is the key.
Ascension is the key.
And it might sound airy-fairy, but it's real. It's real. It's real on the planet Earth. It's real in each of us, and it's there for the community and for all to participate in.
Yes. Now, if you have questions, we may not be able to get to answer those questions right as we're doing the live, but I will definitely be going on and looking at the questions and answering them as best as I know how. And then, of course, once everything settles down, if everyone would like to have the class again in person, we'll certainly be happy to do that as well. Hi, Wendy. Thank you for coming. Well, yeah, Wendy's name is right there.
Oh, wonderful. Hi, Wendy.
Isn't that awesome?
Thanks for joining.
Yeah, we appreciate it. So we were talking about intentions as you were joining, and we were talking about how it's a vision that guides the things that you think, the things that you say, the things that you do, so that you want to make sure that you are, putting intention, conscious intention into what it is that you are telling your subconscious mind you want to do. And so we're likening it to a computer operating system. And the factory settings are love and light. However, of course, society is putting all kinds of little viruses in us, scarcity thinking, and even self-loathing. I just don't understand that. So we were talking about a release and then an embrace. So I release scarcity and I embrace plenty for all. And those are intentions that you can state as you're sitting in the moment. You don't have to have any tools. You don't have to have a book with you. You just sit there and you say, I release this. I embrace that. I recognize, and now I am replacing it with something that I choose to put there. So let's turn it up a notch.
Okay, let's go.
So the subconscious mind, of course, is psychology, and a lot of intention, a lot of magic, well, actually all magic is psychological. It is not airy-fairy, poof, you make things move, teacup stands. It's training your mind to think the things you wanted to think at the time that you are in the moment of wanting to think those things.
Say that again, because it's very important. To train your mind.
To train your mind to think the things that you want to think in that moment. As in, if you want to be true to your factory settings of love and light, you have to train your mind to remember those factory settings after you've been removing all this junk. And you want it to do what it is that you want it to do in that moment in the factory settings of love and light. And we all freeze. We all have moments where we forget, where, some past some event triggers a program that you weren't aware of. So the idea here is to train your mind that when you find yourself in those moments, your intentions remain pure, even though you're in a moment of crisis.
Not easy.
Not easy.
Not easy, but the more you repeat it, the more you train your mind, the more you work with your mind with spiritual practices, the more your mind becomes your servant, and then you can program it with the good thoughts.
Yes.
Yes.
And we have Steph. Hi, Steph. Thanks for coming. So we will be running the live again. We'll be sharing it out so you can catch the beginning of it. So right now we're working on the psychological tools that you can use when you are by yourself or with a group of people, so that you can start training yourself and reminding yourself, so that when you're out in the world you can actually catch yourself and then use the tools that you created to set intentions. So one of the things that we're looking at is time, and I'm taking today as a great example. This is a really powerful day. We're looking at a fourth quarter moon in Aquarius. Now, Aquarius is what we call fixed air. And a lot of you probably know astrology and have heard of these things, but I consider it a manifested, permeating energy that is represented by the humanitarian. And a humanitarian is what we really need right now. And then the moon is waning and decreasing, which creates a calm, diminishing energy that represents reflection. So one of the intentions that I would come up with for release, because this is the release portion of the time frame.
I mean now.
As in, anytime we have a waning moon.
Waning moon, okay.
It's a diminishing,
that's when the full
releasing.
Moon has hit and it's going.
Yes,
yeah,
and it's decreasing in light,
Gotcha.
and it's heading towards the new moon. So we have a waning moon, so that's a good release energy, and you want to attach your release energy to that waning energy. So you're looking at the humanitarian and you're looking at the reflection. And considering everything that we're going through, some of the intentions that I would come up with is, I delete the program of apocalypse. I delete the program of suffering. I delete the program of scarcity. These are all humanitarian things that I have come up with based on reflecting on what I've seen in the past. As in, we're not connected. We're being greedy. We're taking from other people. We're taking more than we need.
The consumerism.
Yes.
And the mass consumption is really ticking off the planet, and the planet is not happy, and we're resetting to, the dolphins are in the canals of Venice. They've come back in the canals, which is so cool. Nature's resetting. So this is one of the gifts that the virus has given us, and these times are giving us.
So another thing you could say, based on what Oso just said, is I delete consumerism behavior.
Overconsumption. We all have to consume things, and we all have to be a consumer, and we all have to make a living. But the world is tilted too far into getting things for ourselves, like toilet paper. Like, leave the toilet paper alone. We got lots of leaves available for everyone, But you don't have to hoard toilet paper, folks, and paper towels and stuff. It just creates more problems. So, but the mass consumption, because when you're a consumer, you take the resource from the earth at a greater rate, and that's what has to slow down. It's got to slow down.
Yes, and we're actually seeing that, just like Oso had mentioned. The waters are clearing in the Venice canals, and the animals are coming back because they feel comfortable. They feel that there is room for them, and that's really what's happening. Is there's this overcrowding energy that pushes the things out that we really want most.
That's within ourselves,
exactly.
Our water bodies, because we're so much water, with the memories that our water bodies hold. Like our subconscious mind, the water in us picks up those. They don't understand. The water doesn't understand. So give it the right suggestions and let the dolphins, the angels of the sea, come back into our being. Yeah.
So the next part of this power day is that the sun is going to be in 0 degree Aries at 11:50 p.m. tonight. Tonight's
the equinox?
It is the equinox tonight.
Oh, wow.
All right. So this sun, of course, is waxing and increasing. So it's a fiery, expansive energy, and it represents source and expression. And then Aries, see?
Intense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Aries is cardinal fire, so it's a thrusting, fierce energy represented by the ram. And so one of the things that I actually do for myself is I have various sets of cards that I use as visual cues. So here I have the moon. I hope you can see that. And I'll post pictures of these. So the moon is soul. And then in Aquarius, I know. And that's an air element, so it's communicating. So there's all these key words that I help myself remember things with. I remember that air is communication, and I carry that with me so that I can make more associations as I go with my intentions. And then of course, sun is spirit or source, and then it's in Aries. I am. Who am I going to be? What kind of person am I going to be? And then, of course, the fire element, which is desire. So, in addition, I have animal cards, and there's the ram. So I put these up all around me so that I can see them as I'm going through my intentions, because those visual cues will come up when I'm in the moment. And I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember, air element, I'm supposed to be communicating, from a soul level on these humanitarian things that I am trying to accomplish. So the sun in Aries is going to be that embrace and begin and initiate kind of energy. So some of the things that I came up with that were companion to the release was, I delete the program of apocalypse and I activate the program of ascension. Okay? So each time that I say I release that apocalyptic programming, I say, let's just go right ahead and activate the factory setting of ascension. Another one is, I delete the program of suffering and I activate the program of holistic well-being. You are the only person you can control. So if you are doing this for yourself and you are a universe in and of yourself, and that everyone around you is you, then what will happen is, as you are deleting these programs and activating these factory setting programs of love and light, you will actually be healing the people around you through healing yourself. And that's very important at this time, because it is an act of compassion when you heal yourself and when you love yourself. And it is very, very important for you to do that in setting your intentions.
What was the intention that you said there for the last one?
It was holistic well-being.
Okay, I just wanted to say something about that.
Okay.
Is that in the holistic well-being, you have a holistic body. And in your holistic body, you have a physical body, you have a mental, emotional body, and you have a spiritual body. And to holistically heal and put in balance all those is that act of self-compassion that you're talking about.
Right.
And allowing, that's in the universe. So you have to create that space in you so that universal wholeness, the holistic, can come into your body and your mental and your emotional and your spiritual. And then that's the healing that I think is hopefully going on now. You know, it's been going on for forever, and it will go on forever. But that is the way of the universe.
So
Gotcha.
Yeah. So the idea here is that you can empower yourself. Well, one of the things that I did, and it was years ago, and these programs, this removal and activation can go on for some time. I have a 20-year program of release and activate going on. I said I release power over and I activate empowerment. All right, so what would happen is, as I set these intentions, I would watch as my power over behaviors would rise to the surface and allow me to recognize them. And then I would say, well, wait a minute, that's a zero-sum game. How can I get the win-win? That's empowerment. Zero-sum, power over. Win-win, empowerment. So it started teaching me. And you can do that, like I did it with my finances. I said, I'm tired of reliving the lineage poverty consciousness. And so I set an intention that I was going to release that. And in its place, I was going to put prudence, and I was going to put right action, and I was going to put true need, things of that sort. And it's been working really, really well, but I have to keep reminding myself. So our intention tonight, I believe that what we are going to do is we are going to delete the program of suffering, since a lot of people are sick, and we're going to activate the program of holistic well-being. And then Thursday is a really great day. It's Jupiter's day, and Jupiter, of course, is expansive, beneficent, and it's associated with potential. Now, all of these astrological aspects and, the days can be looked up on the internet, and you would decide which associations work best for you, which resonate for you. The idea here is not to tell you what intentions you need to set. It's to help you set intentions that work for you, that resonate for you, to sort of give you a guideline of how you would go about doing that. So when I look at Thursday and the deletion of suffering and the activation of holistic well-being, and I see that expansive, beneficent, and potentiality type of energy, I go, I surrender to the flow of love. Let the source decide the very best course of how to remove that suffering and how to bring in that holistic well-being. And it will amaze you, because you limit yourself in how beautiful and wonderful things can be, because you can only imagine so much. But what if, in letting go of that limit, something even more glorious comes in its place? Intentions are about allowing and inviting surprises and miracles into your life.
You got to create the space too. You have to create the space of oneness and non-think for the new good stuff to come in. So that takes practice, but
that's a good segue, because we're going to talk about how you can set up your environment to support your intentions. I call it the sphere of sensation. And one of the things I like to do, of course, I showed you my cards, but I actually did a little divination to see if I was on the right path with the intention, because, I like to check in with my subconscious mind, and it likes to speak to me through oracle cards. So the thing is that the River Queen came up. Reminds me of the canals. Okay, and it's flow and letting go and natural movement. So we're releasing that suffering. They're very pretty cards. This is the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms deck. If you can see that, it's not necessarily the best light. And then what came up was the Swan Queen. And the Swan Queen is the one that floats gently on the river and paddles above it. And it's about transformation, intuition, and patience. So allowing things to unfold. And of course, you know, I'm creating this visual environment for myself. Where did I put, oh, like I would use a cloth on my working surface. This one is a tree of life, and it's in yellow for spring, the element of air. And then the tree, of course, which connects us to Mother Earth.
Since we're trees.
Yes,
we're all
I'm
trees.
rooting my intentions. Yeah. So I like to do something like that. I also have the astrology cards that remind me of the space, the time space that I have created around myself to nurture my intentions. And then we have lovely music in the background to keep us calm and in a meditative state.
They're healing sounds from the Qigong discipline of healing the organs. So, and we have the Om symbol behind us. We also have the inner smile behind us too. So we're at the altar of the medicine cave of the clan of the elder bears.
So we are. And the idea is that when you set your intentions, it is a sacred thing. You can do it by journaling, you can do it by meditation, but the idea is to create an environment around yourself that is conducive to the intentions that you are actually right? Oh, that's too much.
Too much?
Oh my God. These are like uncut.
Oh dear.
So we are creating an entire ambience here with scent, with sound, with visuals. And then we used hoe wood, and hoe wood is letting go and moving forward. So we thought that that would be very appropriate for the intention that we're trying to set. And we have saged, we have Palo Santo.
Copal.
Okay. And then I have my favorite incense, which basically is like my success incense of let's get this done. So I'm going to light that. And then the whole kinetic preparation of, you know, creating that space where you're going to formally say your intentions aloud is also preparing you. It's also telling your subconscious mind, we are about to play. We are about to play and create intentions and make magic. I think it needs to just be on the side. This is like my favorite incense of all. So I use it for all of my intention setting. Can you get that lit for me? And the hoe wood is very, very sweet smelling, yet it has a woodsy scent. So for us, you know, with the tree cloth and everything, so I had a lot of fun putting this together because it's like, oh, and this means this, and this means that, and this is what, you know, really resonates with me. So I think it would be really nice if you just sort of free-formed it. What feels good? Okay, yeah, these all fall in, you know, plentitude. Because the idea here is that you want more symbols of what you're trying to bring in. You just want like one representation or two representations of what you're trying to release. Because the idea is to switch your focus. So we have the visual. We have the sound, and I also like to do my little bells because what happens is with these little balls, as I move them, they're also activating acupressure points and meridians in my body, and it creates calming, more focused. What is the incense? The incense is like amber and sandalwood, so it's temple. I love the smell of it.
It's very nice brown. It's very calm.
It's very calming. It's very sacred to me. I'm a sandalwood girl. I really do like the sandalwood. But then there's this amber, like a resin on top of that just gives it a slight sweetness. So for me, it represents success in everything that I do because it makes me so happy. So I try and use all of my senses. And one of the other things that I brought, because candles are amazing when you're setting intentions, because you can set the intention. I'm going to put a little hoe wood oil on here, and I'm going to say, I delete the program of suffering. I activate the program of holistic well-being, right? And I'm going to rub it in there, and I'm doing my intention of deleting that old program and bringing in that holistic well-being programming that is factory setting. And you can anoint the whole candle, you can use a smaller candle, you can use a larger candle, whatever it is that will keep you working on that intention throughout the day as you go. And I chose the color purple for the crown chakra for the collective consciousness so that this energy would go out to everyone as I'm working it and setting these intentions. Please do. Let's hope this goes.
We're programming our mind for success here.
Yes, we are. And it requires discipline and application.
And practice.
So now here we are. We have a lovely scent going, incense. Our candle is anointed. Our intentions are defined. We have all of these visuals around us that remind us that we are powerful, that we can release the programs that we did not consciously accept, and that we can now return to the factory settings of the divine, which is love and light. So we delete suffering and we activate holistic well-being for ourselves and for those around us, for the world and for Mother Earth and all of the beings upon her and all of the beings within the dimensions, all of our ancestors.
Right, exactly. That's what I was going to say.
Everyone.
A lot of these practices and holding space and all these little rituals were really done by our ancestors, and in the last 70 years or whatever, or 100 years, we kind of forgot.
Yeah.
So bringing your ancestors into your rituals, and those in spirit, is very, very important. Because they've been there and they guide the way, and we need their support, and they need our support as well. So it's a two-way street.
Yeah.
So keep that door open.
Keep the door open, and the thing is that if a week later you're looking at things, hi Candy.
Hi Candy.
If you're looking at things and you're watching things unfold, let's say a moon cycle goes by, because it usually takes about a moon cycle for your intentions to start really showing fruit.
It's not instant, right?
It's not instant.
You can't do that.
It's not like your computer. It's not like you can delete the program, run the virus program, remove the virus, and then install a new program all within a half an hour. So it doesn't work that way. It's sort of there's a time equivalency of that half hour is probably about 30 days, and you have to be careful not to get reinfected.
Good point.
There's constant vigilance, and that's why all of the practices of any type that's trying to get a result talks about discipline and application and repetition and, training and disciplining yourself to reach that desired goal. So setting intentions comes with self-knowledge, really looking at yourself honestly and looking at your environment and what is actually happening outside there, and thinking to yourself, what could I release inside of myself that will not only assist me, but will assist all of the people, the trends that I'm seeing, the fear that I'm seeing, and what can I put in its place? Something that I want to work towards, because it has to be something you want to work toward. And the reason I say that is because if it's not something you want to work toward, you're not going to put the effort in. And if you don't put the effort in, then it's not going to work, not for you and not for anyone else who could benefit from the actual work that you do. So we can sit for a few moments in silence and think about the fact that we are removing the program of suffering and we are activating the program of holistic well-being within ourselves, through ourselves, for all that is. Getting that music going?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ouch! All right, so we can start taking questions after we sit for a moment. So just think about the fact that we are removing the suffering program just for a moment. Just removing it from ourselves. It's like a cartridge, and you can remove it from like your gut, your will, and you put it aside and you say, I no longer need this suffering program. It no longer fits. It's old.
Put your mind in the service of your well-being.
Exactly. And now you're going to, in your intention, you're going to hold up a new cartridge, right? The one that got taken out. It's still factory wrapped. And you're going to unwrap it. And it says holistic well-being. You're going to take that cartridge and you're going to right up in there. You're going to let that thing settle in and start running. And as you're doing this, as you're thinking about holistic well-being, allow your mind to run over various things that you do that don't contribute to it, and then let those go. And as you're doing that, also allow your subconscious mind to throw up examples of what holistic well-being looks like, what kinds of steps you can take toward that. Because setting intentions is just the first step. It's the actions you take after you set that intention that are the most important. And these are things that you can nurture in intention setting in the future. So, think about those things. What is one thing that I do that does not serve my holistic well-being? And what is one step I can take to serve my holistic well-being as I release that which does not serve it? And if you're on fire and you know what you need to do, go ahead and grab that piece of paper. Write down your intention. Write down that step. Make an action plan around it. Break it into pieces that you can achieve one little step at a time. And so, we celebrate the release of old programs of suffering, and we embrace and activate programs that support holistic well-being, and it is so.
Allah.
Allah.
Allah. So be it.
So be it.
All is well and getting better. So be it.
So if you have questions, go ahead and type them in. We'll be happy to answer them. We've got about 15 minutes. There are resources that we can probably get you in touch with. You might have a specific question, or feel lost about how to set intentions because you missed the first half of it.
And until this, whatever's going on externally clears, a lot of this contact and community will be through forums like this.
Yes.
And I'm learning to open myself up to it. So I'm very grateful that the Bridge and the community of the Bridge has decided to come here tonight and connect to everyone and keep Thursday community meetings going, because they're very important, because we need each other.
Yes, we do.
We totally need to keep in contact and not get isolated from each other. So, yeah.
And that continues on after the live broadcast ends. Feel free to reach out to the Bridge Healing Community Group. Yeah, the Bridge Healing Community Group. Or post on the bottom of this live, ask your questions. We will be happy to continue this conversation well into the next months.
I have a question.
Yes.
Maybe we could answer. So you get an intention. Say you get a positive intention and something that's really, something that you want in your life. Some of my teachings are to write it down, crumble it up in a piece of paper, and take it out to the earth and bury it, or take it to the fire. Because with these intentions, sometimes you can't just run around and be hanging on to it like it's a lollipop that, that you want to keep licking or something, keep over and over. So there is a release factor even with the good intentions.
That's true.
So just
That's
saying.
true.
Yeah.
You got to follow your intuition. One of the things, there was a thought that had come up though. You always have to acknowledge what you are doing to sabotage your intentions. You always have to acknowledge that, because if you don't, it's like ignoring your shadow self. It's allowing it to come in and in the middle of the night and like rearrange your furniture, and then you have to get up and walk in the dark. And you're bumping your toes, and that hurts.
I call that great Jaguar medicine, working with the Jaguar and working with your own darkness and transmuting your own darkness into light.
And that's basically
seeing your light, seeing your darkness.
Yes.
I mean, seeing it, like, okay, you do this, it's not working, and I keep doing it. Well, okay, how can we transmute that? We can plug new ideas into our mind and new symbols into our minds so that we can transmute that stuff and own it, own our stuff, own our darkness. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, setting intentions is basically a type of shadow work if you think about it. You're looking at your negative traits, the ways that you contribute to your own failure, and you acknowledging that and saying, yes, that is exactly what I do. And now I release that programming. I'm going to the source and saying, no, this is not what I want for myself. So I'm going to say, out with that. And then I'm going to put something in its place that is complementary to it. It's the transformed negative energy. It's the other half of it. So if I am financially imprudent, then I would want to then look at the flip side and go, what does financial prudence look like? I know what financial imprudence looks like because I've examined it.
It's comfortable for you.
Exactly.
It's a comfortable story.
Exactly.
Yeah. It doesn't mean it works, but it's comfortable.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the uncomfortable part of it is that when prudence comes, I have to like stop and go, wait a minute, voice. In my mind, you were saying, yes, get that. Oh, it would be so cool to have that. And the prudence part of me goes, well, do you have cash for that? That's one of the intentions I said. Do I have cash for it? If I don't have cash for it, sorry, I can't have it.
And you say, do you really need it?
Do you really
need it? Do you want it? Do you need it? Can you live without it?
Yes.
Minimalism is part of this position of what we're going through, of simplifying our wants and our needs and our possessions. Yeah, this is part of minimalism, and simplicity is part of this transition.
It is. It is. So, I actually look at everything and I'm like, I have money now. I could actually get myself a nice little toy. And then there is a voice in my head that says, shh, hold on to it. Hold on to it until you are shown exactly what it needs to be spent on.
Where can that green energy go to benefit you and others?
Exactly.
Just not you,
right.
But how can it have the most benefit? And it is green energy.
Exactly.
It's green energy. So sometimes people hold on to it because they like the idea of seeing a number and they fall in love with that number, and it's a line, and then they don't spend it for things that could really help them and help others.
Exactly.
So that's a two-sided coin.
Exactly.
Yeah. Overspending, not spending. It's like, I'm not spending on anything. Well, use the money to benefit your life and others. That's what I have to say.
Yes. Yeah. And money is a currency. So understanding all of the aspects, doing your divination with the pendulum or with the runes or journaling or meditating, figuring out where the greatest benefit will be, dispensed to all, and you ascending yourself. This is basically a process of ascension. Setting intentions is way more than just, saying, okay, I want to reach a certain, monetary goal. You can do such amazing things with setting intentions. You can transform your entire internal awareness, life, outlook on life, to the point where you become a manifesting machine. Anne-Marie is a manifesting machine. It's a process. You have to hone it and everything.
It's available to everyone, especially now.
Yes.
The whole instant karma thing. I mean, again, it's not going to be instant. It's not going to snap your fingers, but we can manifest our new reality.
Exactly.
More than ever before.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm actually manifesting prudent financial expression.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
great.
And it only took me a month.
A month. That's not bad.
It's been years that I've been trying to do this, and I don't know. I guess the switches went off and everything, and I just finally was like, there it is. And now I'm listening to the new program.
Then you have to figure out what to spend your money on.
Well,
because
right now it's helping others.
Yes. Yeah.
Like I have money set aside for one of my friends because she's out of work right now.
Yeah.
And she's a very dear friend of mine, and I want to make sure that we are able to be in contact with each other. So her cell phone bill has become something of importance to me.
Helping each other now is another really big idea of maybe you have an excess of certain resource and somebody needs a little help. It's good to share whatever resources we can have. That's interdependence, and that is an Aquarian concept.
Exactly.
Aquarian concept. It's
yes. So, as you set your intentions and you gather your correspondences around you, the ones that really work for you, when you look up what day do I have that's open that I can perform a really serious intention setting session. I mean, this date book, it's an astrological date book. It's by Llewellyn, and I use it for the moons. It has some like chamomile essential oil, but it also tells me, what aspect of, the sun is going on. It tells me when the moon is void, of course, which is a great time to do certain things, even though they tell you not to do anything.
How about full moon manifesting? Is that a good time?
Full moon manifesting is like when I do a full moon, it's when I want to take something that I've been trying to increase, like during the waxing moon, and I want to just give it an extra. All right? I just want to give it a nice kick in the butt.
A big energetic push.
Exactly. So waning moons are for diminishing. When you hit that new moon, that is like a void of course moon. It is nowhere. It is like in a space outside of time. And so I like to use those for things where I'm trying to affect the in-between, you know, like a space that is not being acknowledged. If I want to bring something to light, then I will use a void of course moon, or I will use a new moon to do that.
Got it.
And then, so that's how those work. But like Monday is Moon Day. So if you really want to, you know, give an extra punch to moon energy, you would do your setting intentions on Monday. Saturday, if you want to look at limitations and limiting beliefs, that would be a good day to look at that. If you actually want to shut something down, Saturday is a great day. Shut that down. So Wednesday's Mercury, Tuesday's Mars, Thursday is Jupiter, Friday is Venus, and of course Sunday is Sunday. It's for the sun. So, you know, you can use chakra colors for your candles. There's so many resources on the internet. And here's the key. For any correspondence, it truly has to resonate for you. You are the expert in your own symbology. No one can tell you that purple means water if it doesn't mean water to you. Okay? If you want something that means water to you, then you're going to pick the color that means water to you. Some people pick green. Some people pick blue. Some people might pick like a white. It all depends on what your association is, what feels like water to you. So always trust your intuition on those correspondences.
You also just do nothing too to create that space for, you know, we have a lot of tools, as I.O. is talking about, but we also have the option of meditation to just really let it all settle.
Yes.
Let it all settle down and calm that all down. It's very, very helpful, and especially in these times where we're house locked or we can't go out, we can't go to this, you know, meditate to help this change occur in yourself and all around you, in your community and in the earth.
Yeah, well, sometimes when you're bringing something into the world, when you're birthing something, there are moments of just pause.
Yeah, so this is a pause moment.
Yeah.
Absolutely, but we've really went through a lot of nice tools and options to use and settings to 10 and music and stuff. So do what resonates with you.
Yeah.
We're like messengers, right? We're just throwing ideas out. We're messengers. Yeah,
right. We can share the things that we've done. Like for me, prosperity is purple. It's not green. I don't use green. I actually use the Chinese association of purple with water, which is wealth, which is that current. It just resonates for me, but it might not work for you. You know, and the words that I use in setting my intentions may not have meaning for you, or it may mean something completely, like, sort of off for you.
The important thing is to work internally in your higher mind and using your mind as your tool and working with your emotions and your passion and finding that comfortable place that you can ride this storm out and then move into a new concept of living.
Yeah.
And that's really where we're at. We're on the verge of some really new, beautiful things. And I've been waiting a long time for this. And I'm so grateful that we're here now.
Yeah.
And the community at the bridge in Westminster is just, it's a little portal that we meet and we talk about these things. And we talk with other people who believe these and support each other. So it's a blessing. It's a blessing to have this meeting tonight, even though it's virtual.
Yes.
You know, but we're going to get used to this for a little bit. But then we'll be back together.
Exactly. But right now what we're doing is we're manifesting the health and well-being by being mindful of the fact that there is a virus out there that can affect us.
It does exist.
It does exist, and that we're just being mindful of the fact that we do not want to create more of it. We don't want it to multiply, so we are being prudent.
On a physical level, it's about boosting your immune system too.
Exactly.
I mean, really do the right things for your immune system. Don't compromise. Use the earth medicines. The medicines from Mother Earth is very important. The rituals, and the biggest thing that I would have to say is the compassion to love yourself. Is to go easy on yourself a little bit. Don't be so hard on yourself, and create that positive environment within your heart, within all your organs, within your body, within your mind, and let love in. Let it love yourself, and that's not being selfish.
No.
It's not being selfish.
Not at all.
Self-love is the biggest healer right now.
Self-love. And then to boost that self-love, you can take chlorophyll along with vitamin D3. Chlorophyll is light energy, it's plant life energy, and then the D3 is sunlight. It helps. It's an antiviral.
Is that like spirulina? Spirulina is like the chlorophyll, right? I mean,
I don't know what spirulina is.
Spirulina has chlorophyll in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's from the sea.
Oh, okay. So the vitamin D3 is a known antiviral. So it helps boost your immune system for that. And one of the best things you can do is, if you are homebound because of self-quarantine or because you're working from home, get out into the outdoors.
Oh, sunlight and the air.
Sunlight and fresh air. It's a natural antiseptic. It'll also boost your mood. It's been a trying time, and we have a little ways to go before we're out of the woods. Outside. But get outside. There is no risk.
Yeah, I want to throw another thing out there. Is the Osho root, the bear medicine. It's so good for a respiratory system. It's a Native American thing. But if you can get your hands on any Osho tincture or Osho root, it's bear medicine and it's good for respiratory system. It's Native American and it's from the earth, so it's not going to hurt you. So I would recommend just not to have your immune system and your respiratory system compromised.
Oh, and another thing, one last thing. There's this thing called thieves oil, and I actually have them in little beads. It's called On Guard, and basically it has clove oil, it has cinnamon oil, eucalyptus, rosemary, some type of citrus. But basically what you do is these little beads where if you put the oil in your mouth, you breathe in through your mouth and breathe all of that goodness down into your lungs, and then you blow it out through your nose. Make sure you get all your sinus cavities.
You can put it on oil too, right? It's oil that you can just put on, the thieves oil.
Yeah, you can put it on something that you can sniff and breathe it in. But the beads, man, they're so effective.
Wow. Okay.
It's like having, basically one of those wipes going down into your lungs and then up through your sinuses.
Oh, that's cool. That's excellent.
And you're just like, you breathe out, and I sometimes actually see like the moisture oil kind of thing come out because it's just so crisp. And
beautiful.
I was actually faced with a virus, like I could feel it. I knew what it was.
You said that you were I.O. was talking with somebody, and she could feel that person had the virus, and it was a sensation. It was a
sensation of something crawling from her throat toward me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so I took 2 of those beads, and oh my goodness, it was almost like it just reached in and went, nope, not happening.
Yeah, you got to be tuned into this. You can't. There's sometimes I think, I'm just not going to pay attention. I'm not going to say the name. It's not happening, but it is happening, and we have to be careful about it. We go from fear to being careful to being caring.
Yeah, that's cool.
Fear, careful, caring.
And that's a really good intention
for each other.
Releasing the fear.
Yeah.
And what
you were being careful about. You weren't freaking out.
Yeah.
You were being careful. Right.
Yeah. So releasing the fear, implementing caution.
Right.
And then allowing it to activate caring. That's from Ming Tong, one of my teachers. Oh,
so I just got that today. So thank you.
Oh, that's cool.
Thank you. Haola.
All right. So thank you very much for joining us. We will, of course, have this sitting out there for anyone to watch when they have the time. We very much appreciate you coming and spending your time with us. And we wish you wellness. We wish you holistic well-being. And to you and your family from ours, much love.
Hola.
Hola. Good night.
Good night. Buenas noches.